Hi, I'm Grace Green, Strategic Communications Manager at Promise Venture Studio, and I'm so glad that you're here. Over the course of this video, the Promise team will share key information for applicants interested in applying for our Imagine Award. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of who this award is for, what recipients receive, and how to apply. I'll be introducing you to our organization, the Promise Fund, and the Imagine Award in the next few slides, then passing it over to my wonderful teammates who will walk you through the rest. Promise Venture Studio is a nonprofit organization committed to building a more abundant and equitable future where all of America's children can fulfill their innate promise. Since 2018, we've transformed outcomes across early childhood, focusing on ages 0 to 5, by nurturing changemakers and activating an ecosystem that addresses the full spectrum of needs, from healthy pregnancies and early learning to economic security and family well-being. Behind our work is a wonderful team of mission-driven innovators with deep expertise in early childhood and social impact, as well as caregiver engagement, education, technology, and media. Our work is deeply collaborative and inspired by the communities and ecosystems we've helped to build. Two of our key communities include the Early Childhood Leaders of Color Collaborative, ECLOC, which unites BIPOC and community driven innovators around personal sustainability and collective power, as well as the Promise Venture Network, a community for leaders focused on venture growth and impact. Our work is also centered around connecting ventures to capital, customers, and partners. Together, our team, as well as our communities, connections, and capabilities, are what positions us well to support early childhood changemakers. The Promise Fund, which the Imagine Award is housed under, supports early childhood innovators reimagining what's possible for children and families through community-rooted solutions. The Promise Fund and the Imagine Award are both a response to a systemic gap and a model for early equitable investment practice. After a successful pilot year of designing and developing them, our beliefs underscore why we do this work and how we strive to operate. They reflect the equity-driven transformational culture we hope to manifest in the early childhood social innovation ecosystem. So let's get into them. 1. We believe community-rooted leaders are best positioned to transform early childhood systems. Their lived experiences give them deep knowledge, insight, and wisdom. 2. We believe early childhood is the highest impact social investment in the country. We also believe in correcting the inequitable access to capital that early stage social entrepreneurs face. 3. We believe that entrepreneurship is an iterative process of testing and learning, and that building something transformational takes curiosity, humility, imagination, and a willingness to experiment. This is why our investments are designed to help leaders make real progress towards their goals, not perfection. 4. We believe transformation requires rest. When we resource community-rooted innovators to recharge and reflect, they come back with a clearer vision and a stronger purpose. 5. We believe reciprocal, visible learning is essential to becoming a model for trust-based, community-led change. Alongside our awardees, partners, and investors, we are actively building the field, sharing what we learn about the promise and the impact of investing in community-rooted changemakers in hopes of catalyzing more funding for community-driven social innovation. The Imagine Award is one of 2 awards we offer through our Promise Fund. This award provides $20,000 and a 6-month cohort-based learning experience for early childhood leaders with ideas for transformative impact. It requires launching a pilot within 6 months, testing solutions with real users, gathering and assessing feedback, and refining the recipient's approach. A quick note on the Build Award. It provides $200,000 in flexible funding and a year-long partnership with Promise for early childhood organizations ready to reach their next stage of growth and expand their community impact. The 2026 application cycle for the Build Award has already closed and will open again next year. You can learn more about the Build Award on our website. Both the Imagine Award and the Build Award exist to support leaders who are reimagining early childhood through community-rooted innovation. The core difference in the awards are in the funding opportunity, the program structure, and the stage of innovation. Now that you know about Promise, our awards, and why we're doing this work, we'll explore who the Imagine Award is designed for in the next section and whether it might be the right fit for you.
Hi, I'm Karen Leon, Interim Co-Director of the Promise Fund, and over the next few slides, I'll talk about who this award is designed for and what we're looking for in applicants, and then I'll hand it off to my colleague Demetra to say more about the award itself. Who should apply for the Imagine Award? We are looking to fund leaders who, firstly, are passionate about making a difference in the lives of young children or their families or caregivers, and who have a specific idea for how they want to create positive change. We are looking to fund leaders who are deeply connected to the people who will be impacted by their idea. And that may be because of their own lived experience or because of a long history with that community or something else. But really, we're looking to see that the leader is bringing a unique perspective that's informed by their personal connection to the idea or their understanding of the community's aspirations and challenges and capacities. And when we say community, that doesn't have to mean a specific neighborhood. Community could be defined by geographic location, or it could be defined by an identity or a life experience or a profession or something else. Next, we fund leaders who are committed to pursuing justice, equity, diversity, inclusivity, and healing in their work and whose leadership reflects those values. And finally, we fund leaders who bring a changemaker mindset, meaning creative problem solvers who look at the world and see opportunities to create positive change. What kinds of ideas do we fund? The Imagine Award is impact focused. So we are looking for compelling new ideas for creating positive change in the lives of children prenatal to age 5 and their families and caregivers. Since this is an idea stage award, we're not expecting evidence yet, but we are looking for ideas with exciting potential for impact. We're especially interested in ideas that increase fair access, resources, and opportunities for children or families who are most impacted by systemic oppression. We're also looking for innovative approaches, and we recognize that innovation can take many different forms. So it may be that the core of your idea is something completely new, or perhaps you want to take an established approach and implement it in a new way that makes it more effective or more sustainable or easier to scale and impact more people. And that is the innovative component of the work. What really this comes down to is we're looking for ideas that have potential to create new learnings, new insights, and new opportunities for the early childhood field. Finally, we're looking for ideas that have the potential to grow into independent organizations or otherwise extend and sustain their impact over the long term. We are not asking anyone to commit to a 5-year plan at this point, but we are looking for that potential to grow into something bigger. And we do hope that some of the successful pilots that emerge from the Imagine Award will eventually develop into high impact and sustainable ventures. Just for the sake of clarity, I'll name that this award is not for the expansion of existing programs or organizations. It is not for developing new ideas or projects that will live within existing organizations and that are natural extensions of the work of those organizations. This award is not for ideas that have already secured significant funding. We expect many applicants will have no funding, and we consider $100,000 to be a generous upper limit on that. This is not for organizations that have already completed successful pilots of their full solution, though certainly you may have tested pieces of it. And finally, this award is not meant for established ventures that have already developed their product or program or service. Next, I want to take a look at one of the people who won this $20,000 award last year, just to give you a sense of the type of idea and the type of leader the Imagine Award supports. So Cheryl Booker applied with an idea for helping children in family childcare settings transition smoothly into kindergarten. Cheryl brought deep understanding of this opportunity space. As a former kindergarten teacher and elementary school principal, she has seen how children and families struggle with this transition and how it impacts their experiences in school. And as an instructional coach serving family childcare providers, she knows how disconnected those providers feel from the kindergarten transition process and how unsupported they were in helping children to prepare emotionally and socially. Building on her existing relationships and her deep understanding of both settings, Cheryl applied with a vision for piloting and refining a set of strategies and tools that would reflect the real voices of family childcare providers and the families, and that could be shared widely across the field. Cheryl also presented a vision for shifting how schools and systems define readiness, moving towards a broader view that honors children's cultural backgrounds, lived experiences, and the trusting relationships they've already established. We've only scratched the surface by talking about Cheryl here. I hope you'll check out all of our awardees on our webpage to see the full diversity of their ideas and to learn more about Cheryl's ideas and see more of the types of founders we've supported. And with that, I will turn it over to my amazing colleague Demetra to talk about how the Imagine Award has supported Cheryl and our other award recipients as they pilot their ideas.
Hello, I'm Demetra Brown. I'm an interim co-director with the Promise Fund team. I'll share some insights about the support we offer to our grant recipients beyond funding, and later in the video, I'll hand it over to my amazing colleague Buckley. Let's get started. We created this award because we know it takes resources to bring ideas to life. The Imagine Award offers $20,000 in flexible funding that you can use to test your idea with real people, learn what works, and figure out how you want to move forward. If this is your first time receiving a grant, here's what you need to know. Funding does come with a few reporting expectations, and we keep those simple. We use surveys, reflective conversations, and templates to help you meet them. Our goal is to capture what you're learning and building, not track every dollar. We work with leaders at different stages of formation. Some have already set up a company, such as a nonprofit or an LLC, others haven't yet. Whatever your situation, our team will walk alongside you to help you weigh your options. While not required, we strongly encourage recipients to receive funds through an entity instead of their personal account. Receiving grant funding can have tax implications, and we want you to go in with eyes wide open. Our FAQ page on the website covers most of the common questions that people have. And if your situation is specific, feel free to reach out directly. Now, I want to talk about what we're actually working toward together, specifically, what we hope you'll walk away with. By the end of 6 months, we hope you'll have a deeper understanding of the people you're designing with and what they actually need, grounding your assumptions in real insights shaped by being in conversation and in community. Our goal is to help you run a pilot, something real, even if small, and that you'll be able to speak to what you learned from it with honesty and clarity, what worked, what didn't, and what comes next. We hope you'll have a clear story about your idea, who it's for, what it does, and why it matters. That story is one of the most important things you can lead with. We hope you'll have the skills to carry forward, how to run interviews, design small tests, measure outcomes, and make sense of what you find. These are the building blocks of everything that comes after this program. And we hope you'll have people, a trusted group of peers who understand what you're building, who you can think out loud with, and who will grow alongside you long after the program ends. Our goal is to create an environment that is both learning and practice, one that leaves you more confident, more connected, and more clear about where your idea is headed. Now, let's talk about how this all happens. Over 6 months, award recipients step into a community of support built around them and their idea. You set the direction, the community helps you get there. Here's what that looks like in practice. You'll have a dedicated coach. You're matched with a coach who works with you one to one through refining your idea as well as designing and implementing your pilot. You'll have input into that match, so the relationship feels right from the start. Your coach helps you design your pilot, make sense of what you're learning, and move forward with clarity. A resource mobilizer. Every Promise Fund recipient is paired with one consistent member of the Promise Fund team. This person takes time to understand your work, your context, your constraints, and your goals. They act as a champion inside and outside of Promise. They assist you with grant reporting and requirements and help you access more tailored asks or connection requests. Peer learning. Your cohort comes together for 2.5 days in person for a convening. This is a space to connect, be honest, and ground yourselves in the work ahead. That community continues throughout the program through a monthly mastermind and group learning sessions where you build skills and work through challenges together. And the support doesn't stop at 6 months. Alumni Connection keeps you linked to peers and resources long after the program formally ends. Because this work is long and you shouldn't have to start over to keep going. Now let's talk about time commitment. Award recipients should plan to invest approximately 4 to 6 hours per week working on their idea, designing their pilot, or testing within their community. We don't expect leaders to be full time on this work, but completing a pilot does require a few dedicated hours each week alongside your regular life and your work commitments. That 4 to 6 hours will fluctuate depending on where you are in the process. Here's what to expect from Promise. Required activities include 2 to 3 check ins with your resource mobilizer, spread across the 6 months, and attendance at the in person convening. Promise covers travel, meals, and accommodations. Strongly encouraged activities include 1 to 2 coaching sessions per month with your dedicated coach and a 190-minute group learning session per month for building idea to pilot skills. Opt in activities include at least one 60-minute session designed to build shared language and connect you with your peers who are working through similar challenges. Now let's walk through how the 6 months unfolds. The program begins the week of January 4th, 2027. Finalists will receive a tentative program calendar upon acceptance. In stage 1, January through February, you build community with your cohort and you get matched with your coach, as well as attend the in person convening. In stage 2 of the program, March through April, you'll start to test your assumptions and run experiments. This is the heart of the program. It's low stakes and high learning. In stage 3, May through June, you'll start to gather more feedback, make sense of what you're learning, and shape the story of your idea's potential. In stage 4, it's ongoing alumni connection, a bridge to what comes next so you're not starting over after the program ends. Now we want to revisit Cheryl's story again, this time sharing what she learned and accomplished through her pilot. Cheryl launched Tiny Pilots for Big Change, an initiative in Prince George's County, Maryland, which focused on co creating culturally grounded strategies to ease the transition of children from family childcare into public kindergarten. The heart of the pilot was a specialized resource kit, packed in clear backpacks developed together with educators and families. Each kit included child focused tools to build routines and manage emotions. Things like visual schedules, timers, whiteboards, a squeezy heart for anxiety, and book recommendations by educators. She also included a family school toolbox with a sleeve for family photos to bring comfort in a new environment, and a parent folder with a literary guide and conversation starters to help families stay engaged at home. Throughout her pilot, Cheryl learned the power of stepping back and letting educators lead. That approach is actually what shaped details like the clear backpacks and the photo sleeve, things she hadn't originally thought of. She also learned how to build genuine trust with families in the family childcare setting, so they felt comfortable sharing the real challenges they were facing. Through surveys and feedback, she saw firsthand how meaningful it is to create spaces where every voice, especially historically excluded providers, feel heard and valued. And perhaps the biggest unexpected lesson was around systemic advocacy. Direct school outreach simply wasn't working, so she had to pivot and escalate to central office leadership, connecting with the county's director of family and community engagement, the early learning program leader, and the chief of staff to drive real movement. By the end of her pilot, Cheryl engaged 8 family child care educators, 3 coaches, 27 children and families connected to 14 receiving schools across Prince George's County. Sharing the story of one of our 2025 awardees leads us to our next topic, storytelling and its role in the program. Throughout the program, we invite leaders to write about their experience as social entrepreneurs. This shows up through reflections and stories published on the Promise Fund blog. Writing helps you make meaning of what you're building and what you're learning along the way. We're also intentional about cultivating stories together. Stories that help the early childhood field and philanthropy better understand what proximate leadership looks like in practice. Stories that surface the realities, challenges, and possibilities of early stage innovation. Our goal is twofold. First, to give leaders space to reflect and shape their own narrative. Second, to amplify those stories to help shift how the field invests towards leaders closest to the work and ideas that are still emerging but deeply needed.
Hi, I'm Buckley Bloom, Senior Lead of Ecosystem at Promise. In this final section, I'll walk you through the application itself, the process, the timeline, and some of the questions, so you know what to expect and how to tell your story effectively. We've divided the application process up into multiple steps with the intention of honoring your time as leaders and trying to limit our questions to the information we really need at each decision point. Step 1 is participating in an optional virtual pilot design workshop called Design Your Pilot, a free workshop for early childhood leaders. Have an idea but not sure what it means to launch a pilot? This summer, we're hosting free workshops facilitated by Friend of Promise coach David Fu that take you step by step through the process of planning a pilot to test your idea. While the workshop itself will have no bearing on your Imagine a Word application, the plans you build for your pilot in the workshop are intended to strengthen your application. If you do plan on participating in this workshop, we recommend completing this step before submitting your Imagine a Word application. We will share more information on how to register for these sessions. Step 2 is submitting your Imagine a Word application online. We tried to keep this application as brief as possible while still covering all of our selection criteria, which we will cover in the next slide. You can also read about our full selection criteria on the Imagine a Word webpage. Imagine a Word applications are due Friday, August 28th. At step 3, a subset of the full applicants will be selected as finalists by Friday, October 2nd, and we'll invite them to participate in an interview. Interviews will be held virtually over Zoom in early to mid October with the Promise Fund selection team. The selection team is made up of internal Promise team members and a few trusted ecosystem partners. Applicants at this stage will receive a $200 honorarium for their time. Then the selection team will make final decisions and announce award winners by Friday, November 6th. Funds will be dispersed shortly thereafter with support from our grant making team. Our evaluation process is holistic. While we look for strong alignment with our selection criteria, we also value the unique perspectives and diverse strengths each leader brings. In addition, we aspire to select a cohort of awardees that reflects a wide range of focus areas, impact modalities, and geographies within the early childhood field. The Imagine Award application evaluates 6 criteria. Let me walk through what we're looking for in each one. First, impact potential. A compelling opportunity to meet a significant community demand or need with an innovative approach. Second, community connection. Applicant shares a personal connection to the communities impacted by the idea and/or brings a personal understanding of the opportunity space. Third, equity focus. Idea centers more equitable outcomes for young children and/or their families and caregivers. Fourth, idea stage and pilot plans. Idea is clearly defined and ready to enter a phase of initial testing or piloting within 3 to 6 months of receiving the award. Note, our goal is to support bold ideas that could grow into new early childhood organizations or companies. Because of this, the Imagine Award does not fund the expansion of existing programs or the development of new projects within established organizations. We make exceptions for individuals who are developing ideas within organizations when those ideas represent significant departures from the parent organization's area of focus, meaning it's not something the organization would reasonably sustain or house internally. Fifth, change maker mindset. Applicant is a creative problem solver ready to take action. And finally, six, expertise and capacity. The applicant has the expertise and capacity to pursue the work. And don't forget, you can read the full selection criteria on the Imagine Award webpage. The application includes 1 video audio response and 10 paragraph response questions. For the paragraph response questions, we encourage you to be thorough but brief. Replying in 1 short paragraph or in bullet points is completely fine. 1. Video response. For the video question, we're looking for a 1 to 2 minute video or audio note, or write a few sentences introducing yourself and your idea and telling us why this work matters to you personally. Hearing about your idea directly from you and in your own voice is something we really value. If you prefer to respond in writing instead, that's also welcome. If you choose to submit a video or audio, approach this as if you were talking to us on a Zoom meeting or phone call. It's not necessary to prepare a script in advance or edit the recording. You can record on your phone or laptop while sitting at your desk, your kitchen table, or anywhere. Please don't include screenshots, slides, product demos, background music, or anything else. 2. What is the opportunity or problem in early childhood development that you're focused on, passionate about, or interested in? 3. Tell us about your idea for a program, product, or service to address this opportunity or problem. What is the idea? What makes your approach feel fresh or different from what's already out there? 4. Who are the specific people your idea is designed to impact? Do you have a particular group in mind? For example, people of certain ages, professions, identities, or experiences, or people in a particular place? Be as specific as you can. What do you hear from them about the opportunity or problem you're addressing? 5. What's your longer term vision? Where do you hope this idea is in 3 to 5 years, and what would it take to get there? How will it change the lives of the people you're hoping to impact? 6. Why are you the right person to pursue this idea? How does your personal connection or firsthand experience shape your understanding of the opportunity or problem and your thinking about how to address it? Is there anyone else involved in developing the idea currently? 7. What have you already done to explore your idea or move your vision forward? What have you learned so far, and what are you still trying to figure out? 8. The Imagine Award consists of $20,000 in funding alongside a 6-month program to support you in running a pilot of your idea. If you receive this award, what pilot will you run? We'd love to understand 3 things. First, what will you pilot? In other words, what does a small scale, testable version of your idea look like? Second, who will you recruit to participate, and how will you find them? Third, what do you most want to learn from this pilot? What are you trying to find out? We know these plans might change. We're just interested in your current best thinking. A note on how we define pilot. A pilot is a small scale version of your idea that lets you try it out in the real world and see what works. It doesn't have to be perfect, the goal is to learn. To help you think through specific plans for piloting your idea, we encourage you to attend our optional workshop. We created this workshop specifically to help Imagine Award applicants with presenting their pilot plans clearly and compellingly in their application. 9. Have you raised any funding or earned any revenue connected to this idea so far? If so, how much and where did it come from? This helps us assess fit for the Imagine Award. Typically, we are among the first funders of the ideas we back, and we expect many applicants have raised nothing so far. 10. On a practical level, how does pursuing this idea fit into your current professional life? Are you balancing it alongside other work commitments, focusing on it full time, or embedding it in your current job? There is no right or wrong answer here. We welcome all paths. We just want to understand how you're thinking about it. And finally, 11, we'd love to learn a little more about you as a leader and dreamer. Can you tell us about a time, personal or professional, where work or a goal felt hard or the path forward was unclear but you still persisted? We know this work takes deep belief and persistence. What fueled yours? We hope you'll join us at one of our workshops this summer, Design Your Pilot, a free workshop for early childhood leaders, happening in July and August. Join us for a hands-on session where you'll build a simple, realistic plan for testing your idea within the next 3 to 6 months. At this optional workshop, you'll create a pilot proposal that you can use in the Imagine Award application. You don't need to have it all figured out, you just need an idea you care about. You'll leave with something useful, a clear, concrete next step for your idea. Space is limited, register to secure your spot, and we'll also share a recording in early August. Our team is here to help, whether you have questions about the application, the program, or whether this is the right fit for you. Here's how to connect with us. Review this info video. Check. FAQ page. Check our website first. Your question may already be answered there. Live Q&A sessions. Join a group session to get your questions answered in real time and hear what others are asking. Sign up through the website in advance. Pilot design support. Register for an optional pilot design workshop running in July and August. Space is limited, but we will also be sharing a recording in early August for those unable to attend live. Email. Can't make a session or have a personal question? Reach us anytime at fund@promisestudio.org. So you've already watched this info video and you're doing great. What's the best next step? If you want support designing your pilot for your Imagine Award application, we recommend registering for our pilot design workshop. Every session is the same, so please only sign up for one, and we recommend attending the workshop before you submit your application. These workshops are completely optional. If you still have questions about selection, programming, or the application itself, we recommend signing up for a live Q&A session with our team.
We know applying takes significant time, energy, and planning, and we don't take that lightly. We're so glad that you're doing this work, and we'd love to have the chance to support it. We can't wait to read what you're imagining.